Anila, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Start with this.
I have already started.
But again, you can call the number.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Fine.
Now screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
So now I would like to invite Professor Nidhi Goyal, ma'am, to deliver her talk on data in AI networks, application and algorithms. I welcome you, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. And I have requested for control over the content. I think somebody has to approve so that I can change the slides from here only.
Ma'am, if you say the snap, I can mix this slider.
Okay. Very difficult. Still, I'll because we have the habit of doing the things ourselves. But let me see if I can manage it somehow. Okay, right. So sorry for the initial technical glitches. And uh, my talk today is about data in AI networks, applications, and algorithms. Since this refresher program is on AI in cooperative NUMA 5G networks, so and I have gone through the timetable also, the entire lectures that all of you will be attending over next 1 week. What I could see is there are a lot of things when we go through that particular topics. It's about beamforming, it's about enabling technologies, it's about how no hustle with hassle and Power BI, 5G antenna design. But when we talk about AI in general, for maybe for communication, for image processing or medical domain, the main thing that we say is AI is a network, artificial intelligence networks. What they will handle the data. And as a you call it a human being or as a layman, we stay busy with big things, but we forget about the small little details. And all of us know, till the time the basic is not clear, the foundation is not clear, the building cannot stand long, the building cannot stand for a longer time. So over here, when we talk about AI for 5G networks or any application for that matter, the basic for us is the data. Because once we have our data in place, uh, uh, our networks can perform better, and that is the expectation. When we talk about AI networks, it's basically we are trying to make our things simple and easier. These things can become simple and easier only if our data is clean, our data is complete, our data is not erroneous. So data is a very important part of our artificial intelligence networks. That is why I have chosen the topic of the talk as data in AI networks, because it is important, but it is not given that much importance that it deserves. And that is why on the first day I requested Dr. Garima that I want it on the first day or maximum on the second day, so that everybody understands the importance of data. Secondly, when we talk of AI networks, we think it is a computer science field or it is IT fields. But what we don't know is that AI is not basically a computer science domain or an IT domain thing. It is basically about mathematics. It is about statistics. It is about probability. Ma'am, can you please go to the second slide? Yeah. Uh, Ma'am, if you want, you can just keep it in the full screen. So this is about data science, what Google says. Why I have chosen the topic as the slide as data science, because we'll be dealing with data. this is AI networks will be dealing with data. And if you just go through this content, this is as per the Google. So just look at the, the second paragraph and the blue words that are there. So it is about statistics, it is about data analysis, it is about informatics, it has mathematics, statistics. Later on it comes the computer science, information science, and domain knowledge. Why we consider all these things? Because it is about all about statistics, probability, data, mathematics. Then comes your computer science, information science. And what does we mean by domain knowledge? Domain knowledge means the area, the application on which we have collected the data, or the data on which we are will be applying the AI networks. We should have the idea of that particular domain. I'll give you an example for this. I'm sure all the people sitting over here, they must be faculty members, and I'm not sure how many of them they teach data science or data mining sort of subject. But it is a simple example. When we say domain knowledge, or when we say it is mathematics, uh, let us take an example of maybe a shopping mart wherein the owner is struggling with, increasing the sales. Now the person has to increase the sales. One way is he or she bring out some offers to attract the customers and all. Another way is, one that is to be done, but at the same time, when you are giving some offers and all, you want your shopping place to be, well set and all. So what they did was, it is just an example. What they did was, they tried to sort out certain things, what is to be done. Different arrangements were made, but nothing was making sort of, a remarkable impact. So somehow they stumbled upon a person who did a bit of data analysis and all. So he suggested, what you do is you place maybe, baby diapers along with or maybe a chips packet along with, or a baby diapers along with a hard drink counter. Let's suppose it is an example of a 24/7 a hard drink counter. Reason, one may think ki a person who has come to the store to buy a hard drink, what will he or she do with, baby diapers? I mean, if a layman looks at it, they are entirely, uncorrelated things. Diapers and drinks don't go together. But if you look at it from the analytics perspective, they very well go along with each other. Reason being, a person who is having, a hard drink, or maybe a person who has come to, now gone are the days when we used to watch movies on, CD or a videotape or something like that. So when a person is having a good time, he don't want to, go and clean up the baby or something like that. He or she wants to be relaxed. So for relaxation, they want the baby to quietly sleep or be in the diaper so they don't have to run around. So you place the two things together. A person who has come to buy a hard drink will definitely buy a pack of diapers if he or she has a small baby at their home. Similarly, when you go to a shopping mart, maybe, Shopper Stop or Lifestyle or any place, you will see just next to the billing counter what they put, or even, the grocery mart across your place wherever you stay. What they do is, near to the billing counter, they will put small little items. It can be a kid's lollipop, it can be, if you go to a lifestyle or a shopping shopper stop and all, you will see near to the billing counter, what they'll put is some hairband, some clips, some socks. Nowadays masks are there, so 5-7 minutes every person has to wait for the billing to be done. So the time when it is the waiting time when your billing is being done, your tendency is to, okay, I need a mask. My mask is, worn out now. Or maybe the kids are standing with you at the billing counter. They'll say, I want to buy this hairband, or I want to buy this, whatever, glasses or something. Or maybe kids' perfume and stuff like that. So they know the weak point. When a customer is there, it is very difficult to, especially at public places, kids throw tantrums, and the parents tend to, succumb to their demands. They tend to buy 80% of the parents. So what they do is, at the billing counter they place certain things which may be, you will see 3,000 का बिल तो हो रहा है, 100 रुपए के लिए बच्चे को क्या रुलाना. Let's buy this. For you it is 100 rupees, but that shopper stop or the lifestyle, they make almost maybe 10,000 or a lakh just by selling that 100 or 200 rupees stuff. And then they put you in a, 99, we call it a 99 wala angle, wherein it never completes 100, कि दो डीओ के साथ एक फ्री, इसके साथ ये वन, इफ यू टेक वन डीओ you will get it for 99. If you want three, you will have to pay 250 rupees. 250 rupees में three है. So all these stuff wherein, they have their analytical mind over there, they put near the billing counter. So आप 3,000 के बिल के साथ you tend to spend, somewhere around 3,500, क्योंकि ये भी economical लग रहा है, वो भी लग रहा है, वो भी लग रहा है. So that's how they use data analytics. So here is the place where data analytics comes into role, wherein you, for a novice, it seems like uncorrelated things, but an analytics person knows that they are related to each other, and if they, combine these two things, the sales can really increase. So that is why a word called domain knowledge is here. So the place where you are using your data, the place where using your, artificial neural networks, the person using that should have the knowledge of the domain. Then only one can use data, one can use artificial neural networks in an efficient manner. So this is what Google says. Similarly, if you know, if you just Google what artificial neural networks is, it will give you the same same keywords, which are mathematics, statistics, data set, data analysis, so on and so forth. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Right. So these are the foundations of data science. We have, just hold on, there is a call coming. Hello. Sorry. Yeah. So similarly, when you talk about, if you just Google on your devices, that artificial neural networks on Google, it will give you the same keywords, which comprises of mathematics, statistics, data set, data analysis, and so on and so forth. And what does this data science or maybe artificial neural network does is, uh, there are certain places you will see that instead of AI, I have used data science. The reason is because this is the data which will be putting up into the artificial neural networks. In the next slides, we will see how these terms are correlated to each other. So when we say it is AI or it is data science, what it uses the historical data to make future predictions. For example, in the previous example that I gave, they use the historical data. Okay, the diaper goes along with hard drinks, or maybe the kids stuff goes along with the placement near to the billing counter. So that's how you can place up the things. Similarly, what we can do is, if you go to your local market, what you will see is just next to the stationery shop, 99% there is a good probability that there will be a toy shop next to the stationery shop, because when kids will go to buy stationery, they end up buying a toy also. Similarly, another very good example, it is because of necessity also, you will find maximum chemist shops near to the hospital. So that's how you use the historical data to make future predictions, to maybe increase your scale sales or something else. And these historical, I'll come to this next slide. Then we, based on these historical data, we make our artificial neural networks, or maybe we make our models. And these models, they are basically trained, and when these are trained, then they make future predictions, then we test these models. Whenever we are making artificial neural networks, we take this historical data to train our model, and then on a given data, a fresh data, we test our model. This is how ANN works. Ma'am, can you please change the slide? Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Next slide. This. If we look at this diagram, what this says is it is a computer science of IT. We have over here mathematics and statistics. We have domain or business knowledge. These are the main keywords. And if you look at it, the data science or the neural networks or the machine learning, it is a mix of mathematics, statistics, domain knowledge, and a bit of computer science and IT. But if we say it is completely a computer science or IT thing, then it won't be true. Ma'am, next slide, please. Yeah, I think we can skip this slide also, because data is everywhere. There is talk about data is everywhere, and there are few good researchers. I'm sure many of you must be knowing about Andrew Ng. He is uh, he's the person who started the concept of deep neural networks. And deep neural networks, anybody who starts with deep neural networks goes through the lectures of Andrews NGO, only. What he says, that data is the new oil, AI is the new electricity, and who is building the new railroads. So if you look at the first two things, data is the new oil and AI is the new electricity, because these are the two things without which nowadays existence is difficult. So without data, AI cannot sustain. Similarly, if you look at this slide, what this slide says is, again, data science, we have statistical modeling, it has computing, it has data technology, research, consultancy. These are the applications of data science, which basically is the raw material for our neural networks. We'll first look at the data and the types of data which goes into neural networks, and then we will come to the artificial neural networks. When we talk about data, uh, all of you must be aware of the fuzzy data and the numeric data. What do you mean by a fuzzy data? Anybody has any idea, please? बाद में बात करते हैं बाद में बात करते हैं Anybody has any idea of a fuzzy data? Or any idea about the neural networks and the importance of data in neural networks? Ma'am, can the candidates unmute themselves, or does it require the administrator to do that?
Can participants unmute themselves? Yes, anybody? Ma'am asking something?
No issues, ma'am. I'll continue. No issues. Yeah. When we say neural network, and especially for communication systems, we have data in different forms. When we talk about neural networks, you will find that there are numerous applications of neural network. You can see them in medical domain. You can see them in cloud computing. You can see them in data analysis, in communication. In this particular refresher program, we are particularly talking about communication systems. So it is everywhere. And it is there, for that matter, a very good application of neural networks is, we are, all of us, we are using it. Alexa is a very good example of neural networks. Uh, Google is a very good example of neural networks. How it is an example of neural networks, if anybody can tell me, anybody, whosoever is listening and is not sleeping. I know this lecture is after the lunch time. People must be having their food and must be feeling sleepy. If anybody can just a little idea how a Google is an example of neural networks. Okay, right. All of us must be aware when we have our Gmail. Everybody is nowadays having their Gmail accounts, right? So when they have their Gmail accounts, uh, a few months back or maybe an year back, what has happened is Gmail keeps on adding features to their products. So Gmail is one of their product for the Google. So if you look at your Gmail account, earlier it used to be, an inbox, and then you have your drafts, your bin, and all those things. But almost a year or maybe year and a half back, they have added a feature wherein the mail, whatever comes in, it automatically gets, categorized as your primary email. Then you have your promotions, then you have your social, or maybe some mails are categorized as urgent or very important. How do they categorize it? You see that if there is an OTP generated, or maybe a password reset, or maybe something, some Facebook or LinkedIn updates, they go into the social. At least my email account, what I can see is it is categorized into three categories: primary, social, and promotions. And I'm sure for all of you it must be like that only, until unless you have activated one or two more tabs. So automatically the LinkedIn, Facebook, or maybe somebody who is having Insta or Twitter, their notifications goes into the social, and some other notifications goes into the promotion. Only the necessary things comes into the primary. So it is categorizing the mails. It is an example of neural networks, wherein our neural network is continuously learning, and it is taking some keywords, based on those keywords, it is categorizing those mails and putting them into their respective tabs. It is an example of neural networks. Another very good example of neural networks, or I can say, is a merger of neural networks and data analytics or data science. We call it data science because it is a science wherein you are analyzing the data and you are making sense to the data. You are bringing sense to the data. That is why data science is being referred in my slides. So when we say another example is we all during these COVID times, we all of us have switched to buying the things online rather than going to the market. Things which are very urgent and cannot be brought online, that only we go to the market. Otherwise, all of us, we tend to even take grocery through online grocers and all. So let's suppose you are working on a system and you suddenly realize that you need to buy some book or some bag or some sports shoes. You search for it and then you say, okay, abhi time nahi hai, baad mein dekhenge. Later on, whenever you open your Gmail account or maybe any other account, you will see that some small little advertisements of that bag or maybe shoes, whatever you have searched, whatever was your item of necessity, that keeps coming up. आपके पास उसका एक साइड में एडवर्टीजमेंट आता रहता है अगले कुछ दिनों तक. How is this possible? This is possible because when हाँ जाओ एक wait a second. So whenever that advertisement keeps coming up, why is that coming? Because once when you were searching for that particular stuff, uh, the Google or maybe the online engines, they took your data, they analyzed it, and they could understand that you need this thing, that is why you are searching. Next time whenever you log in, the advertisement keeps coming up. It is a very good example of data analytics and the neural network. And the neural network in this case is a kind of it keeps on learning. A neural network is supposed to learn with data every new data that keeps coming up. That is what I have referred in the first or second slide, that based on historical data we train the data. So nowadays the neural network, deep neural network that we use, it the training goes endlessly. The more data it has, the better neural network it becomes. The predictions are much more accurate. So we tend to have more and more data so that the predictions are accurate. So जब आप कोई चीज सर्च करते हो, वो डेटा एनालाइज करता है and keep giving you predictions. This is a very good example of neural networks and data analytics. Another example, all these examples that I am talking, they are from our day-to-day life. Another very good example is people must who have iPhones, they must be using Siri. Or people nowadays, many people, they have bought their Alexa or the Google Assistant. The moment you speak anything, it will the speech is converted to text. It is then searched on the platforms, and accordingly the song of your request or whatever you have asked, the query you have asked, the Google Assistant or Alexa, it gives you the output. This is a very good example of neural networks. Another very good example, and all of us must be using it, is another very good example, and all of us must be using, is in Google. For example, I received a mail from Dr. Garima regarding a lecture during this talk. So the moment I say hello, So it automatically says Dr. Garima. I need not type it because the Google understand the mail is from Dr. Garima Mathur, and because I have reply, I've clicked the button reply. So I'll be addressing the person to whom, from whom I have received the mail. The next letter that I type is, okay, I took Dr. Garima from the help of Google. Then I uh, typed thanks. Automatically I have a suggestion wherein आप लोगों ने फील किया होगा जब आप मेल टाइप कर रहे हैं वो अपने आप वो लाइट लेटर्स में आ जाए for the invitation. So you just put a tab, thanks for the invitation, automatically आपका select हो गया और वो वहाँ पर type हो गया. It is a very good example of data analytics and a neural network wherein it understands what the user is trying to say and it gives suggestions and you have to just pick it up in case it matches with yours. I am sure many of you must be using this feature of Gmail. This is all neural networks and this is all data analytics. And when we say it is all data analytics, why I'm coming to this example is whenever we are talking of, these are the different applications of neural networks. So whenever we are talking of data or a neural network, based on the application, the data changes. For certain applications, we have numeric data. For certain applications, we have image data. For certain applications, we have video data. And when we say, and so many different types of data is there. So whenever we say this, for example, I'm taking the example of Gmail or maybe any search engine. So it is a textual data, but it is not, it, what we say is we want to do contextual analysis. So what contextual analysis is, I'll come to it a little later. Ma'am, can you please change the slide? These are the different types of data. We have numerical data, we have image data. When we talk of image, we have pixel intensities. We have video data wherein we talk about frames per second. We have sound data which has waves or maybe you call it signals. And then we have text data. Text data is tweets, comments, feedback. Over here we have the contextual data that I'm talking. Contextual analysis, sorry. What do we mean by contextual analysis? Uh, Let me explain this. Contextual analysis means, for example, I have visited some restaurant. I want to visit some restaurant, and before going to the restaurant, I just want to read the reviews. What kind of restaurant it is, what kind of food, what kind of service. So I just read the reviews. Just wait a second. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, when we suppose there is a restaurant wherein I want to uh, go, and before going, I am just reading the reviews. And one of the reviews, so what when we say that we have to analyze the data, uh, written data. So it generally searches for some comments. Okay, wow. So if a keyword is wow, so that means it will be a positive comment. So when we have a term called wow, so it is taken as a positive comment. Similarly, when we say aw, double w, aww, so it means maybe a negative comment. Or there are certain keywords which you consider as positive and negative comments. Now, one of the reviews that I read is the food, for example, if we say delicious, so delicious will be considered as a positive comment. So one of the reviews says the food at the restaurant was, I had a you know, out of the world experience. The food was delicious. I wish the service would have been equally good. So this is the comment. If you look at this comment, none of the words says, none of the words or keywords can be categorized as a negative comment. All the words are out of the world experience, delicious, good service. None of them is negative. But if you see the meaning of the comment, it clearly says that the service was not good and the customer feels his service would have been better. How can we, get to this comment is by basically finding out the context of those keywords. So when we say that the contextual analysis is to be done, that simply means that we need not look at the keywords, we need to understand those keywords in a we need to understand the context of that particular written uh, line. So it will be, taking 10 or 20 words together in a sequence, considering 2 or 3 sentences together to find out the context. So whenever we say that it is a text data, especially tweets, comments, or feedback, we apply contextual analysis. And this contextual analysis is being widely applied in many applications. Many of the NGOs are working who use artificial neural networks to perform contextual analysis of these, tweets and comments. They analyze their tweets, comments, and feedback to just to find out that a person is not suffering from depression, or he or she does not have any suicidal comment tendencies and all. So they analyze through their social media, post, and try to help out those persons who are in the need. Ma'am, can I have the next slide, please? Garima ma'am.
Yes, ma'am?
Ma'am, next slide, please.
Yeah.
So when we say that these are the data, we have basically two types of data, the structured data and the unstructured data. So when we say it is a structured data, that means it clearly says the data types. And when we say it is unstructured data, it is basically the text data on social media profiles. Structured data का example है all of us, we are the faculty members. That is why it is being very difficult for all of us to stay awake after in the post lunch session. So when we say it is a structured data, it means maybe an Excel file of our class wherein we have a strength of 60 to 70 students. There are 5 subjects, theory marks, practical marks, and maximum marks is defined. 100 marks is there. So out of 100, they will get only marks. There will be no grades. So this is basically structured data wherein for every column you have the limit, the data limit is defined, whether it will be integer or float, and this will be the maximum, this will be the minimum. In that file, you can search very easily. For example, in an Excel file, if I am asked what is the maximum value in this particular column, so that is easily searchable. Or maybe you know who is the topper of the class. You can easily apply formulas in your Excel file to find out the total or maybe the average or the percentage, and then you can see which roll number or which name is which student is the topper. But when it is an unstructured data, then it is very difficult to search. For example, for unstructured data, you can see that the first thing is it is undefined data types. So this Facebook or tweets or Instagram post, they are an example of unstructured data, and it don't have a defined data type. For example, in a structured data, we know it is a integer or a float or maybe numeric data or textual data. But when if it is unstructured data, you will see that in tweets, you have special characters also, you have English also, you have Hindi also, you have some slang language also, numeric data is also there. So it is a, mix of everything. So this is basically unstructured data. It is very difficult to search through this unstructured data, and you need to basically, do that contextual analysis to make sense out of this data. Ma'am, can I have the next slide, please? Yeah. So when we have this structured and unstructured data, we basically categorize into two forms, broad categories. This is qualitative data and the quantitative data. For a qualitative data, we have ordinal data and nominal data. Qualitative means it is talking about quality. There will be no numbers basically. And another type of data is quantitative data, wherein we will be talking about numbers only. So let's talk about the first data type, that is qualitative data. So when we say that it is qualitative data, we have nominal data and ordinal data. Nominal data means the examples are written over here. The gender of it is men, women, or a transgender. The hair color is blonde, brown, black, white. So there will be no numbers over here. The ethnicity of a person, or maybe the ordinal data is maybe the rank of a person, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and so on and so forth. The grade of a student, A, B, A plus plus, B plus plus, or B minus minus, and so on. The economic status, low, high, middle class, upper middle class. There are so many, categories that we ourselves have made into this. So all this will be into ordinal data, wherein we have a particular reference, and based on that reference we are taking first, second, third, we are taking grades, we are uh, defining the economic status of a person. And another broad category of data is the quantitative data, wherein we have discrete data and a continuous data. Discrete data means all of us, our faculty members, we know the difference between discrete and continuous data. So I need not explain that. But the examples of discrete data is number of workers in a company. So it can be 2, 3, 4, 5, 200, 500. It cannot be 5.5. But if you talk of a height of a child, it can be 5.5. If you talk about the length and width of a room or a table or a mat, then it can be in floating points. It can be a continuous data. So these are basically discrete and the continuous data types. And when I am saying that these are data types, qualitative, quantitative, or structured and unstructured data, why are we talking about all this? Because this is this is the raw material for our artificial neural network, and we want that good data should go into the neural networks, ANN. And when we say good data, a good data has certain qualities which should be there. What qualities it should be there? The qualities can be, we want, for example, let's suppose it is an example of maybe एक्सेल शीट दैट वी आर टॉकिंग, जिसमें हमें हाईएस्ट मार्क्स निकालने हैं या क्लास टॉपर निकालना है. सो द मार्क्स विल बी डिफाइंड. So we expect the maximum marks are 100 for a particular subject. So what we expect is कि भाई उसमें सारे बच्चों की एंट्री होगी. We if we have 65 students, तो 65 students के उसमें मार्क्स डले हुए हों. If those marks are there, then only we'll be able to find out who is the topper. राइट. अगर 65 में से 60 एंट्रीज हमारे पास है, 5 बच्चों की एंट्री नहीं है, सो इसका मतलब डेटा हमारा कंप्लीट ही नहीं है. सो व्हेनेवर वी हैव टू मेक गुड प्रेडिक्शंस, एक्यूरेट प्रेडिक्शंस, वी वांट द डेटा टू बी कंप्लीट, कि भाई जितनी एंट्रीज उसमें होनी चाहिए उतनी हैं. सेकेंडली वी वांट व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट कंप्लीटनेस, सो उसमें ये है कि भाई एक तो 65 एंट्रीज उसमें हो 65 बच्चों की, एंड सेकेंडली सारे सब्जेक्ट की हो. ऐसा नहीं हो कि 4 सब्जेक्ट की है, 5वें सब्जेक्ट की नहीं है. देयर मे बी केसेस जहाँ पे ऐसा होगा. देन वी हैव टेक्निक्स टू डील विद दैट incomplete data. We call it incomplete data. So we have techniques to deal with that. So one, we want the data to be complete. Secondly, we want it to be, accurate. ऐसा नहीं हो कि जैसे मैंने कहा 100 maximum marks will be 100. तो ऐसा नहीं हो किसी सब्जेक्ट में 100 में से 150 मार्क्स डले हो. इट मे बी बेसिकली 50 मार्क्स और किसी से एक 1 बाय मिस्टेक प्रेस हो गया तो 150 मार्क्स हो गया. फॉर अस दैट एंट्री डज नॉट मेक अ डिफरेंस. that entry does not make a sense actually, because 100 में से 150 marks नहीं हो सकते, and we do not know whether it was 50 और 1 गलती से टाइप हो गया या फिर it was 15 0 गलती से टाइप हो गया. So it is very difficult to make sense out of that data. So we want our data to be complete, to be accurate. And for example, if it is a sex wala column जिसमें we want men, women और transgender, वहाँ पे कुछ और A या B या C डला हो, which is not actually a code for any 3 of these. So we want कि हमारा डेटा जो न्यूरल नेटवर्क में जा रहा है should be good enough. Ma'am, can you please change the slide? Yeah. So this is what I'm talking is a good data is one that is complete. There should be no missing records into it. Secondly, the quality of record. Are the records correct or do they contain any mistakes? For example, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि maximum marks 100 है, 100 की जगह 150 marks दिए हुए हैं. So it is not correct. It has mistake. या फिर हम सेक्स की अगर बात कर रहे हैं तो मेन विमेन ट्रांसजेंडर की जगह उसमें A, B या C कुछ डला हो, which does not make any sense. Third is the amount of data limited. For example, अगर हम deep neural networks की अगर बात करें तो फिर we nowadays we are talk about deep neural networks and artificial neural networks. A basic difference in terms of data if you consider is artificial neural networks can work with 10 or 20 entries also. They can work. But for a deep neural network, you need thousands of entries. An ideal would be, 5,000 to 10,000 entries. if they are 1000 or 1500 entries, you will not get good predictions or accurate predictions. Your deep neural networks will not work at all. So considering the kind of network we are using, whether it is a normal artificial neural networks, machine learning algorithm, or maybe a deep neural networks, is the amount of data okay, whatever we require as per that network. So the quantity we need to consider. Second, accessibility. Can the data be accessed? Matlab, is that data accessible? For example, I personally work on medical domain uh, data networks, right? So when we talk about medical domain, there are certain data sets which are easily available on the public domain, but there are certain data sets which are not at all there. We need to request them. At times we get, at times we don't get. So any data set which is not there in the public domain and is not easily accessible to me is of no use to me. आप उस पर जितना मर्जी अच्छा पेपर पब्लिश कर लीजिए, but it will be of no use to me because it is not accessible. I cannot even verify any published paper over that. Secondly, connectivity. Can the different data set be joined? For example, it is a very good example. Let's suppose I'm working on a medical data set. It is basically an ultrasound or an endoscopy data set, or maybe let's take endoscopy. So there are three different data sets. Can these three different data sets be merged? For example, if I talk of a deep neural network, I'm saying it should have 10,000 entries minimum. For example, a hypothetical number. So I got one data set which has 2000 entries. I got another data set which has 5000 entries. I got third data set which has 3000 entries. Together they make 10,000. But can I connect them? Can I merge those data sets? Will it be feasible? So that need to be considered. In most of the cases, I cannot merge those data sets because all the three data sets will be dealing with different kind of diseases. They will have different image resolutions or the image brightness and all. So merging may not give me the accurate results. So that needs to be taken care of, whether they can be connected or they cannot be connected. Last, validity. Does the data contain outliers? What does this outlier means? Outlier means a data which is basically we make clusters of data. A data that is entirely different is basically an outlier. क्या उसमें कोई ऐसा outlier है? So we need the data to be good, complete. I mean, we need these 6 parameters to be the data to satisfy these 6 parameters so that we can say that it is a good data and we can make a good, accurate neural network based on this data. Garima? Yeah, thanks for changing, ma'am. One more thing. Can you
Pardon, ma'am?
when can I wind up the lecture? I'll go accordingly.
Ma'am, 4:30, ma'am.
Right, thank you. So when we say that these are the types of data and these 6 qualities to be, satisfied by good data. So why do we need a good data is because we want to predict, we want to make predictions on these historical data. So there are times when the data is, not complete, it is not a good data, then what we need to do is basically when we talk about all this giving data input to the artificial neural networks, we need to first collect the data. All that data we need to collect. For example, I took the medical domain or data. I need to collect it. Then I need to clean it. What does this cleaning means? For example, when I Excel file I have to see all the entries where there is incomplete data. 100 में से कुछ भी marks नहीं दिए हुए. For 4 subjects the marks are there. For the 5th subject there is no marks. So what do I have to do is either I have to take the average, or I have to consider it as 0, or I have to consider it 100 में से, let's suppose maximum what I can give is 75, so I'll consider 75. So I need to set a rule in place that if there is any incomplete data, what is to be considered. Similarly for sex, if it is uh, somebody has put ABC, उन्होंने mix कर दिया, बस grade की जगह F डाल दिया, तो वहां पे तो वो फेल, F से फेल हो गए, तो वहां पे तो वो एलिजिबल एंट्री माना जाएगा, मतलब लेजिटिमेट एंट्री माना जाएगा, क्योंकि ग्रेड में F तो होता है, फेल होता है. However, by mistake that person mixed two things. उसने ग्रेड में A डालना था और सेक्स में F डालना था, फीमेल, दोनों चीजें मिक्स हो गई. वहां पे तो वो लेजिटिमेट एंट्री हो गया कि वो तो A की जगह फेल हो गया, और इधर सेक्स में F की जगह उसने A डाल दिया. तो जिस केस में अब जब आप ऑटोमेटिकली व्हेन यू आर डूइंग द थिंग्स, जब आप मैनुअली करते हो तब तो आप थोड़ा सा दिमाग लगा लेते हो कि भाई ये 2 एंट्री पर हो गई होंगी, बट मशीन विल नॉट डू ऑल दीज थिंग्स फॉर यू. वो उतना ही दिमाग लगाएगी जितने के लिए आपने उसको ट्रेन कर रखा है. और आपने उसको ट्रेन किसके लिए कर रखा है कि भाई ये जो सेक्स वाला कॉलम है इसमें ये 3 ही होंगी, ये 3 नहीं होंगी तो फिर क्या करना है. तो व्हाट इज द रूल पोजीशन, व्हाट डज द रूल से. आपने उसको ट्रांसजेंडर में इंक्लूड करना है, मेल में करना है, फीमेल करना में करना है, या आपने कंप्लीटली उस एंट्री को ही इग्नोर कर देना है. that needs to be taken care of. So when this we call as cleaning the data. Similarly, जो example आपको दिया था, let me have a glass of water, please. Similarly, जो marks वाली दिया था example, जिसमें out of 100 the girl or the boy entered 150. So will it be considered 15 or 50, or it is considered as 0? क्या consider किया जाएगा? So this is basically called cleaning the data. So one has to collect the data, and then it has to the person has to clean the data. And if you just Google it or speak to anybody or any researcher who is working on neural networks, you will see that 80% of their time goes in cleaning the data, in arranging the data, in making sense of the data. कि भाई जो डबल एंट्रीज हैं उनको हटा दो, जो इनकम्प्लीट है उनको कंप्लीट कर दो, जिनको इग्नोर करना है उनको इग्नोर कर दो. एंड for a given task, if they have 100 hours, 80 hours they will be just cleaning and arranging the data, but they spend those 80 hours ताकि वो जो 20 hours बचे हैं उसको वो efficiently use कर पाए. दिस इज द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ डेटा, बिकॉज अगर आपका डेटा अच्छा नहीं है, आपका न्यूरल नेटवर्क अच्छा नहीं बन सकता. एंड दिस इज व्हाट similar this is what the topic of my talk, data in AI networks. And I mean, maybe it's my fault or something, since last 1 hour and 15 minutes I am able to talk only about the data. Applications or algorithms पर तो हम अभी जा ही नहीं पाए, because it is so much of importance कि even good data analysts, they spend 80% of their time in just cleaning that data. They clean the data, they arrange the data, they try to fit that data into their, as per their maximum limits and all, so that it is able to predict better, it is able to describe the problem in hand, it is able to design the things, whatever the entire objective of the application in hand is, it is able to predict, describe and design. So this is basically about the data. Ma'am, can you change the slide, please? Then we have, when we talked about data, then we come to, artificial neural networks. So what are the various applications we have? If you go all these pictures, just I have not put reference with every image, but all these images or the bar graphs or anything that have been used in these slides, they have been taken from the Google. The source will be Google. So when we say data science and artificial intelligence, what basically we have digital speech assistants. It is used in marketing, data visualization, warning systems. In self-driving cars, we are using neural networks. We are using data. And if we talk about the self-driving cars, in these self-driving cars, it is again neural networks, and it is a deep neural network which is continuously taking the data and training the networks as per the data and continuously updating it, because the more data it has, the better predictions it will have. Ma'am, next slide, please. Again, this is machine learning, and I think after this I will have AI. So quickly, we did for data science what data science is. Now it is machine learning. What machine learning is? Machine learning भी अगर आप देखेंगे, the blue words that are there, it has computational statistics, mathematical optimization, statistical learning, training data. So these are the machine learning terms. Ma'am, next slide, please. And this is AI. Again, this is what Google says in both the cases. So what Google says, again, if you look at this in the second paragraph, last two lines, it is statistics, it is probability, it is economics, then comes computer science. And it is just a single term, computer science. Uh, Despite we say that AI is, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स इलेक्ट्रिकल मैकेनिकल कोई एआई नहीं पढ़ता था आज तक. इट वाज कंसिडर्ड एज सीएससी एंड आईटी थिंग्स. एंड कुछ साल पहले तक वी एट IGDTU वी हैव अपडेटेड अवर करिकुलम. सो एआई इज मस्ट फॉर एवरीवन एंड इट इज देयर इन एवरी ब्रांच. बट जो कन्वेंशनल यूनिवर्सिटीज है जहाँ पे we have affiliate colleges and all, syllabus updation is not a regular thing. वहाँ पे आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस अभी भी आपको इलेक्टिव बास्केट में ही मिलेगा. इट वोंट बी इनटू अ कंपल्सरी सब्जेक्ट. क्यों? क्योंकि वो माना जाता है कि ये तो कंप्यूटर साइंस का सब्जेक्ट है, उनके लिए कंपल्सरी है, हमारे लिए इलेक्टिव है. बट इट्स नॉट दैट. इफ यू लुक एट इवन द गूगल, it has statistics, it has probability, it has economics, it has psychology, it has linguistics, it has philosophy. कंप्यूटर साइंस तो सिर्फ एक चीज, मतलब एक वर्ड है उसमें से आउट ऑफ दोज 10 वर्ड्स. सो इट इज नॉट अ CSC or IT thing. It is for all, and we all are using it. So it's high time that all the universities and colleges should make it as a compulsory subject for each of their branches and each of their courses. We have done at our university at least. Now this is again what AI what Google says about AI. Ma'am, can I have the next slide? So these are basically the three legs of artificial intelligence. पहला AI algorithm. AI algorithm को run करने के लिए हमको data चाहिए, data which is complete, which is good, and which should satisfy all those six conditions, wherein we say it should be complete, it should be within the limits, there should be no mistakes, and all those things. And thirdly, when we have the algorithm in place, we have data in place, we should have the computing power so that these AI algorithms can be trained and tested. For artificial neural networks, it can be done on your laptops, your desktops. But when we talk about, deep neural networks, we expect good GPUs to be there in place, graphic processing units, which take the input and process it at a high computational power. Ma'am, can I have the next slide? Maybe in another 1 or 2 slides, I'll try to just wind up, and I would like to have questions from the participants. So this is about data and AI. If you look over here, we have artificial neural networks as a bigger portion. Then machine learning is a subset of artificial neural networks, and then this is deep learning, which is, uh, should not say upcoming, but बहुत सारे लोग अभी उस पर काम नहीं कर रहे, although deep learning is there since 2016. अब तो तकरीबन 6 साल complete हो गए हैं, but still not many people are working in this. So these are the subsets of, just hold on. So artificial intelligence is a bigger term. Then we have machine learning, deep learning, and for all these three things, you will see that there is a data science thing. It will be there for all, because none of these networks can work without data. It is the, as per Andrews NG also, it is the oil. So it is the oil for our system, and we need it. Ma'am, can I have the next slide, please? I will probably, I'll just quickly do this slide. So we have artificial neural networks. You will see that there are, examples for this. Amazon purchase prediction that we have spoken. We have smart email categorization. We have smart email categorization. Then these are the artificial neural networks example. We have machine learning. In 1 second, hold on. We have machine learning, wherein we have Google Maps, we have Facebook facial recognition, Netflix video recommendation. Deep learning में self-driving cars are, because we need more and more of data, so that accurate predictions can be made and accidents don't come. Then in deep learning speech recognition, the Alexa that we use, or maybe the Google Assistant that we use, more and more data is there, the more easily and accurately it will pick up your voice. And all these things, whether it is AI, ML, or DL, they go like this. You have data science, data analysis, data analytics, data mining. Without data, nothing can work from this. Ma'am, I think I will, if you have my slides, there's a lot to be covered, and I don't have that much of time. It's already 4:25. Rather than, extending it further, I would like to wind up, and I would like to tell all the participants that during the next 5 days, course of 5 days, you'll be doing a lot about communication and beamforming and so many things. Please understand, till the time the good data is there in place, none of the neural networks will be able to work. So the moment you are giving, your efforts, time to in designing the neural networks, please give that much effort to cleaning and making sense of the data as well. Now I request the participants for any kind of questions or queries that they have.
Participants, if you have any query, you can unmute yourself and ask the question. Yes, anybody? I think, Nidhi ma'am, there is no query.
Yeah, I can sense that.
So much, ma'am. Really, session is very nice and very wonderful. I hope our participants get more benefit for this. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Participants, I shared the link as well on the WhatsApp group. And open after this 7 p.m. There are 15 questions. You have to attempt all 15 questions.
Garima ma'am, your voice is not audible.
Okay. Amit sir. Amit sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you repeat one time?
All the exam form will be available on your chat group, and this form will be open till 7 o'clock. So you can complete the submission till 7 o'clock now.
Share the link in the WhatsApp group, sir, also,
Yeah, ma'am, sure.
and in a chat box also.
Yes, I'm doing the same thing now.
Ma'am, chat box is not available to us. I think it is disabled for the participant.
Uh,
Yes, sir, same problem.
so there is no issue. The link is available with your chat, WhatsApp group now. So you can use that link.
Thank you, sir.